There we go. You should be audible. I should be audible.
Hello. Shout out the ping, right?
Yeah, it's probably. Let me just set you to broadcast so it matches my own microphone. We should be good to go.
That way people can
Hello.
hear me.
Mm. Is it pretty warm where you are at, too?
Oh yeah, it's been really hot the last couple days.
Mm.
My poor air conditioning is not having a good time. I need to fix it or get a new one. Been long enough. I have it for a couple years now, so well, hopefully everyone is trying to stay cool.
I will spawn let artifact
Mm,
and have it ominously rotate in the background.
that's like if the witness had gotten to the Gloopy logo.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, too, when Ravy made that one.
Those are the Boolean slices for the logo animation, right?
Yeah, it's when we had the striped version of the logo, and then, I mean, well, it was like 3D stripes, and then if you rotate the stripes like 45 or 60 degrees, it creates like this curve along the edge, creating like
Yeah.
interesting spiral, like striped look. I mean, there it is in its 3D form.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we had a bunch of uh,
Concepts
like
and such. Yeah.
yeah, we had a ton of concepts of it in the beginning. And this was like kind of born from one of those concepts. Let's see here. We're gonna find like a picture of just some of those. So those are pretty neat.
There is a question. Well, you get that. There's a question I remembered in the Discord that I'll get. And for the next office hours, um, okay, let me get Sherix up and running real quick. Yeah, the next one will just be just a unified thread for all the questions that people have that want to ask ahead of time. Because, like, instead of making a forum post each time, it'll be easier just to have a single forum post because you can see when people post things. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that is a good question. As well as, well, we did answer a Nadia Shirk question. Ooh, there we go. That was the question earlier. Where is the Pride Gloopy? And, of course, I'm looking at the camera. Set that there. Yeah. Did you get what you were looking for, Rube?
I think so. I have the one of the like test animations that Chroma that did.
Oh, I know what you were looking for, but
Yeah.
I don't think I have it on like hand to easily import it. But I could just simply go into the Discord. There is a
I have it. I'm about to put it in here.
channel that Chroma made, and what it
So
is the kind of like not really in dev, but like concept work of the logo design and how it evolved over time. Ooh, is that the one that Raivi made recently
yeah,
of it?
that was the render.
Yeah, the render of like the glass version of it, which looks really nice. And you can see what I mean of like the rotated stripes at that like spiral, almost like uh, hard candy swirl.
Mm-hmm.
when Ravi was making a render of the sliced open one, I was like, someone was like hard candy, and I was like, okay, I have Jolly Ranchers upstairs. I could just have one. Since I made like the image of like the what was it, Mike and Ike's on the table into like the simple Gloopy logo, I should do the same thing with the Jolly Ranchers one day. There you go. Actually, is there enough? And I could probably just do like it's three different colors at least. And there's six bulbs, so it probably is possible. Maybe.
We also have this one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, there were a bunch of other stripy designs too. Um, we play with it a lot. Ryuvi and Chroma both have like render setups for the logo as well to do all kinds of fun things to it.
Yeah. We do have our first question here from Mintshock. Though it does cut off the name because of, well, Streamlabs or OBS does it. Or when Discord cuts off the name and streaming is noticed. Let's see here. So, what they ask is, how do the weird and hyper-specific values on the default UIX come from? Like, for example, almost all the paddings have weird values with tons of decimals. Is it some golden ratio stuff, or how did you get these values? Pretty much got it there. It's the golden ratio at that point.
Also,
From what
some
I...
of them are floating point imprecision. So, like, if we set something to say 1.57, it's going to add some floating point to it because the platform allows for those kind of precisions. It's like
Yeah.
when you take an object and you move it or scale it or duplicate it, it might have like a scale of 1.000001 rather than just flat 1. Just shows how
Yeah.
computers work.
From how Rayuv, Chroma, and Cyro are the ones like working on it. There is going to be like a change to how they're calculated, mainly how the bevels are done. As in a nutshell, we were doing the bevels wrong, where there's like a different mathematical function to kind of properly scale the bevels, but the base numbers is based off of the golden ratio, which a lot of designs try to go for as well. Makes for appealing like styles and such, regards of how things are spaced out, how things are scaled. Set that over there. We do have a couple of questions here too. This one, two of them from Computer User. First one is, I think this has already been asked to some degree, but do either of you use anti-aliasing? I'm excited because I found some settings that can be changed to make the Unity render's FXAA implementation a bit clearer and higher quality. Like the welcome home sign in the Cloud Home is notably easier to read.
I use FXAA.
Yeah, I also stick with FXAA as well too.
I like that one just because it's, I don't know, a bit faster and it's fine. I don't generally mind some of the jagged lines of things when I'm doing stuff. And that one seems to work well for me.
If it's something within like the open source render part that Resonite uses to communicate with Unity, it'll be interesting to contribute as well if that's something you've been doing. Otherwise, it's something to note down for when we change over to a new renderer. Which, I mean, the topmost candidate right now is Renderide, which is insane to see how that thing has evolved over like a few months. From the user named Double Steaks has been mainly working on it with a few others, and it's crazy how far it went. Now, the next question here from Computer User is the new Gloopy logo intro animation permanent, or is it going to be used for Pride Month? I'm not sure. I'm not the one who set it up, but it's a good question. every Monday. Uh, well, yeah, Decoy, Rusty, and Chroma do their marketing, as well as Fruix on Sundays. So it depends on if Fruix wants to, keep it or if anybody else keeps it. Probably be a good change once in a while.
I
Update
think we
it.
might be keeping the animated part of the logo like pop in, just because I know that's something that Freaks wanted to set up for a little while. Just a little animated bit there. It looks nice. I think we need to like widen the alpha clipping on it though, because you can like see the black square because the two blacks are not completely the same. Um, that way you just see the logo in a transparent.
So likely it'll just be like a slightly edited version in the future
Yeah,
where it's just that issue fixed.
but I
Oh,
like it.
I see a decoy is in the chat. Hello. Hello, and
Ooh, the
as well
bird.
as a Baplar.
I like the glassy kind of shiny designs on the thing. It reminds me of like hard candy, like Jolly Ranchers. It'd be fun to make like gloopy
that,
candy.
that's what I was saying earlier too. Um, wait, what kind of candy?
Like gloopy candy, just like
Ooh,
a hard candy like gloopy
just
candy.
melt it down into like
Yeah.
a mold. Actually, we did sort of do that before at
Oh, we should
home
make.
with what's it called, stained glass cookies, where you
Yeah, I was gonna say
basically.
we should make some stained glass cookies with gloopies.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Now we're talking about food. It's so hard to get off food because like I'm hungry.
I just ate, so I'm okay.
Oh, did you
There,
you want to show off or talk about some of the stuff that we've
that
been doing?
we've been working on. Yes, there is an upcoming summer event. More details will be in the recap stream on Friday. But essentially, it's a remake of an old map that we've made years ago, and we've basically put like new skills into play and like new techniques to make an environment that we'll also use for the tutorial and any other kind of project that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And well, of course, Rue has some of them here, and I am going to bring in some of the or some screenshots of the process that I was doing too, as I went through and kind of like honed the technique of actually creating better terrain setups. Where you, right now, if you're making a terrain with what is called a splat map, you can have up to 4 different textures of a terrain. But there's ways to add more than just 4 on a terrain as well. Especially if you want like a map or a world that has a lot more realistic terrain or a lot more diverse like areas that you can explore. But
Mm-hmm.
I know you, Rue, have brought in some aquatic
Yeah.
plants.
So I had made two sets of plants originally, like some like normal ones and then some tropical ones. And with the summer event we're working on, there's going to be a lot of water involved, a lot of tropical stuff. And I was like, hey, what if we actually did do some underwater things? So I made a set of underwater plants. Some of them might change. Here's the like first initial set of them. They're meant to be used in conjunction with like obviously a bunch of other terrain pieces. So kind of by themselves, they're just wavy things. Um, but those will be free for anyone to really use. We're using some of the textures from like say Resonite, um, but hopefully put together and set up with good lighting and underwater stuff. They'll be neat. I was even thinking of like attaching particle effects to some of these, like maybe these little coral things have like streams of bubbles coming off of them. Um, but yeah, it's the first initial like iteration of them, I would say. So we could add more or change certain things depending on what we need. I think these will do good for now, and that's to go with like a little reef that we want to make in the actual like summer map, which is, I mean, we can tell them what map it is, right? It's fine.
Yeah. Let me
Yeah,
scale this up here, and then I'm gonna get the
the model.
screenshot. Oh, the model.
I mean, you could
It,
just throw in the screenshot. The model's probably too high poly to pull in here.
well, there's
Um,
also a lot of different objects that'll probably try to import and
yeah.
not be able to import.
So this is for an update to the terrain and the visuals, the interactive stuff on Sojourner. So we made that years ago, and we actually,
I
for those that
felt
don't know,
that.
we made that in
There
three
we go.
weeks from like literal start to finish from scratch. So it was a little bit of a rush project, but I think it turned out nice. This one we've taken a little bit more time on, and we've completely kind of rebuilt the mesh, but keeping like the style and theme from the first one. So it'll look uh, similar in layout, but much better in quality. We've also incorporated building techniques for both the train and the buildings and other props that we just didn't know before. So it's going to run a lot better and hopefully look better too.
Actually, I have an idea. Why is it not showcasing it though? Might be a better way for me to capture this or show this since I'm able to is just simply get let's see here. Game capture, add source, add a new source.
Trying to show Blender.
Yes, actually.
Mm.
Capture a specific window. Why does it not show it?
Can't you just like pull up the? Oh no, because that would be like a which color stream in here.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused why it's not.
Let's just grab some screenshots and put them in here, and we can show people. We're
Actually,
also thinking of having
better.
some community contributions to the map as well. There's a bunch of people that want to help out with either adding things or building features for the map. So you'll get to see some of those additions as well. There's going to be a lot of fun stuff in there to do. Hopefully, we get everything set up in time, which it's June right now. We want to try to
There we
get it
go.
done soonish, but we're just making sure not to rush it.
As I try desperately to get this working. uh,
Why don't you
I'll
put the camera
bring,
over here
yeah, I'll
while
bring the
you?
camera up here. Get that set up.
I'm gonna grab a view from the top. These are some like in Blender screenshots from RayUV's side. So in the past, Sojourner was just the larger center island you see here. Um, the island is a tiny bit smaller because we noticed that the other one was just really big in reference to the player. So it's I think maybe 1 or 2 cubic feet kind of just shrunk down um, in terms of its like scale, and then we have a bunch of smaller islands out on the outsides um, that people can like walk around and do stuff on, or fly to with like the hang gliders, or go onto on vehicles. Um, So there's going to be a lot more of the map, even though the center one is just a bit smaller. There's going to be a lot packed in there, though, too. One of the things we wanted to do with the original map was have, like, a cave system that people could go through the island on, either, like, from the volcano to the beach or vice versa. But we just didn't have enough time in the original map. You can actually see where we have, like, cutouts on the rock, and we just kind of covered for the time being.
I
Our
have
intention
Blender
was, like,
view
to go
now on
back.
here,
Oh,
but
good,
you
good.
can keep on explaining too, so I can.
Yeah, if you want to show that part. So like we had cutouts there in the original, but now since we have the time, those areas are like actually modeled out and they're set up so that people can go through both from the top to the bottom, go through the caverns, um, and we want to add some like I don't know, maybe some lava stuff in there, some water, some things. Uh, that's like a little piece that we just didn't have in the other one. I don't know what else we might expand upon in there, um, but that whole section is set up. We're also remaking like all the structures. The original ones weren't bad, but we want to make them more like geared towards the style we wanted to shoot for. Um, so Aegis has been redoing, say, like the little huts, and Ryuvi's been redoing the main like kind of structure pieces, but we're doing it in a dawn theme instead of like the limestone work. There'll still be some of that here and there for like some of the older buildings, but a lot of like the platforms and things are going to be kind of dawn style. But those are going to be like bespoke pieces.
Latest thing I was doing is actually setting up these wave effects right here. And like setting these up, originally it was just a ring of quads around the island, and it just simply had a scrolling texture. Going into other games and like graphics demos for like real time rendering, taking a couple of pages out of the old rulebook and basically manually painting it around here and there, while also having like a base trimmed outline of like sea foam around the islands as well. Even a little trim underneath too I'll be adding next for like some caustics around the edge. Pretty much the entire like original island is rebuilt from the ground up, and including like patches of islands around the place too. It was originally supposed to be part of the plan.
Also, in reference to Unbound Celestials question, yes, that's this Twitch channel. We all stream on the same one, so different days we just have someone log into it. So if you want to see Resonance, that's going to be Frux's,
On
and you
Sundays.
can catch it on Sundays, and it'll be on this channel, so you can just keep an eye on the same place. That way, you don't have to keep track on multiple. Um, there'll also be times for all of those and the different office hours because each team member kind of has their own. Um, they're on the Discord listed, and if you have any questions there, there's channels for asking on those specific ones or just about them in general. So, yeah. There is also a facet that you can apply to your dash in game that will tell you when those events are happening too. Blender loading.
Oh,
Well, yeah, you're streaming and running Blender. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain, even for our computers. Um,
this is what happens when you don't bake your textures yet. This better not be. I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm gonna switch over back to. Oh yeah, I can just move my mouse cursor over. I forgot I can just do that. Boop, boop.
As you can see, though, a lot of the things on there just kind of have like dev textures, if that makes sense. Um, I've been working on a bunch of. Ooh, thank you for the raid.
Ah, thank you, Wait, Casatara Fox. Thank you
But
for the
as I was
raid.
saying, I was working on a bunch of materials that we're going to use for the map. I'm liking the look of it. I probably should have brought some in, but I hadn't baked them yet. I'm working on them in some spanner. But yeah,
Oh,
once
there.
we incorporate those into Aegis's like method for the what were you calling it, multi-material splat map thing?
Yeah, it's like multi-material splat. Yeah,
Yeah.
as simple as that. There is a good question here from Mr. Big Raccoon I want to answer real quick. On
Oh
an
yeah, yeah.
earlier stream, you mentioned a tool to pack multiple material channels into a single image. Do you know where to find that? All you need is a dev tool. So once you have a dev tool here, equip it, create new, go to where it says editor, and then, yeah, the second to last one and third to last one, texture packing and unpacking wizards. So I'm going to bring out the texture packing and texture unpacking wizard. The texture unpacking wizard is very simple. As soon as I'll just borrow this image here,
Yeah,
and
there
then
you
I'll
go.
just drop it in there, and it'll give you options of which channels to extract, and the resolution you want it to be extracted as. And you just click which channels, they'll be highlighted in that like highlight color. Then you click unpack texture, it'll work. So, yeah. And as for this one, however, you simply just put in the different color channels, which could be just black and white images, or you have a color splat or color mask or um, packed channel map where it has like multiple different textures, but you want to use like a specific channel of. If you look on the channels like up here, these channels are what you're using from that image. If it's a black and white image, just use the red channel. And if you don't have anything here, you can just simply just change the value manually just from black to white. And you can even invert what you have in there
Just as a side note,
automatically.
the blue color space default value should be 0, but for some reason is setting itself to 0.5. Ryuvi's still trying to fix that.
It
So just
is
letting y'all
a
know.
interesting anomaly going on there, but it's a harmless bug essentially, as long as you know
Yeah.
what it is.
Very useful if you're doing like a pack if you want to make a pack normal map without having to leave the program. So like this round texture is a split map, as you see here. You can position that a little bit better than I can.
Time to close Blender.
Oh, let's see here.
I think it just tried to render too much at once. I think what I should have done, instead of being in material mode automatically, I should have been in like solid mode.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay,
Task
so
manager it
in
is.
here, this splat material uses packed normal maps, and to make those, all you need to do is like separate the normal maps, and then was it combine the I believe it's the red and green. Is it red and blue? I think it's red. But yeah, you can actually just do that in here instead of like another program like GIMP or whatnot, which you would have had to open previously. And you can also edit the values very fine tuned. Put this over here. Splat maps are a little hard to wrap your brain around sometimes, but They're definitely worth using. They make stuff look so nice.
Texture Packer tool that Ravy added within Resonite itself, it makes half of that setup trivial. It's
Yeah,
like you'd have
yeah.
to go to an external program like Photoshop, Substance Painter, or GIMP or so, or the open source alternative to like just set it up like that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's why the multi-res was on.
Oh no. Yeah, the island in Blender is very high poly because Ravi's been sculpting the rocks for like just a better look. And then we take that one and we bake it down. We're gonna do LODs for the islands as well, so that when you're far away from them, they're gonna use a much lower like poly version of the mesh, while still looking good.
Let me just keep the splat map versions active, and then carefully unhide things, and also
We're also gonna see if we can chunk the map, basically split the mesh up into regions, and then those will be selectively culled as well. Dunes works the same way. It's split up into a 9 chunk grid. If you've ever seen like Minecraft chunks, that's kind of what this map looks like. The center chunk, which is the one with the lake and the house and everything, is a little bit higher resolution than the other ones, since people don't tend to go outside of this area very often. But I still wanted the map to be big. And then if you can't see the ones that are out there, they're automatically turned off.
okay. Use Blender.
Oh no, I see you frozen completely. Oh, the stream froze. Oh, I've turned into a creature on stream.
Oh wait, just need to load.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think it's just the graphics card being like hit 100%.
at least it's not Substance Painter and Resonite worse.
Yeah, it should clear up in a second here
All right,
once
I'm in
once the stream
solid
data
mode.
comes back.
Okay, I think I'm just gonna bring up the node editor and then just go from there on how this was created in the first place and take some screenshots.
The backlight. Oh, my PC. Blender tends to do that to you. Um, you could like everything could be fine. You change one value, and and then it freezes. It's okay though.
Okay, now let's close Blender. For sure now. No, I
My
don't want
hair's
to
going
save.
crazy.
Come on. Come
Also,
on.
let me rotate the camera.
And
Get you in frame.
I can feel the. Oh, I'm alive.
There you are.
Uh,
That's good.
that is why I'm going to be baking those after I'm done with the water effects. Okay. Node setups. And, I'm just gonna find the screenshots that I took in previously. The price you have to pay in order to make things look good. It's worth it though.
Honestly, I'm just glad that a program like Blender exists because 90% of our work is done in Blender.
I'm not even gonna acknowledge the NVIDIA pop-up that said there's an error.
I don't see it. It does not exist.
You heard it, but no, no, it doesn't exist. Okay, that shows like if I do.
That those
Okay,
like bright colors on that screenshot are also kind of how we set up the color masking for the splat
there we go. Now you get to see it without dying with.
map.
So essentially, each one of those colors represents a different material. Now, the thing with if you saw earlier with the color packer tool, it only has four of them, four different colors to choose from. Technically, one of them isn't really a color, more or less the transparency. Uh, yeah, that is a limitation, at least with like a traditional splat map material. But there's a way around that, and that is basically splitting off, in a way, also chunking the island itself into different parts. So, right here, you got like this red trim around the islands, and that's like the wet sand meeting like the dry sand of the beach. That could be like a material in and of itself, where it just kind of leaves that one material onto a specific material. The texture set. Okay, yeah. So those two are two different texture sets on one material. But there's also all this other sand around here, which could also be on another material. And say, for example, this rock pillar here goes from like this sand to like this black parts, which is like cliff rock, the green parts, which is like grass, and the magenta is like a dirt. So that's like four of them right there, but it does not contain any of the red on the outside. So that could be in its own material, and even most of the island right here as well too, except for the parts where there's like a bit of yellow, which is like the igneous rock of like the volcano here. And within like the upper part of the island is like another one. Got like the parts that have the igneous rock, which is yet another one. The caldera, which is like the little crater inside the volcano,
Volcano.
has the yet another material that is also like sectioned off. And that's like a volcanic sand and like a nice hot spring up there, like in a previous map. That is also yet another thing too. Same with a multitude of like I think two or three materials just for the cave inside there. And it all uses like different colors, but when combining the colors together and making sure they kind of blend with each other, you can have it all share one splat map texture to be mapped out on an entire terrain. And the only way of like changing it is via the amount of materials here, which there's seven of them, and technically there's a set of seven different texture sets in this case too, but shared across differently with different materials. Like for example, the some of them might only use two of them, four of them, or three, or even only one, depending on how you have it set up. For example, the outer beach only has two. Got like pretty much all four of them for pretty much everything else except for the caldera, which I think is like three or four. I don't remember.
You can also blend them a little bit more with like the alpha of each of those, I believe. Because we had to play around with that on this map, this plat map. Well,
Yeah, that
it's
that's
the
pretty
I
much
think it's the
what
packed height.
that's pretty much what was done. But essentially, how you have multiple textures on a terrain is you have to have the same bordering material or texture set, and materials and texture sets. But as long as it's like the textures are the same, it'll blend seamlessly if it's tiled the same. if it's like UV mapped the same as well too. And the same thing was done with the islands in the background too, although it's fairly simple. You got two materials, the outer beaches and the inner parts of the islands, all like contained with a single splat map, and it works quite well. And another detail too that was done within the node setup of the map and of the textures was it took the high poly resolution of the normal map or normals of the mesh itself and uses it as a mask. And what it does, it kind of fills the crevices and paints the edges of that normal of like the higher resolution model and uses that and turns it into a mask. Whereas you can see on like the splat map here on the terrain, all those little crevices there, like where like grass could build up or dirt or whatnot, or even sand.
Kind of like
And
the edge detect or the crevice, or
mm-hmm,
sorry, curvature, like editing stuff in Substance.
yeah, and it properly blends it together. As for like the sand blending up on the edges here, that's just a gradient that is vertically placed in 3D space going up. Same with the water level here too. A little bit of noise to make it more natural. And you can even see on like the blue grass right here another color faintly blended in. And it works quite well once it's all set up.
Let me grab a screenshot from like a Blender scene. I believe this is Eevee, so similar to what it could look like in here. Obviously, they have global illumination in Blender, but with the reflection probes and a good skybox, we can probably get something close. This is like an untextured version of the cave area from one of the areas.
That is the high poly mesh as well too. And using what is called multi-res or multi-resolution, it allows you to sculpt on like mesh without actually having to make like a lot of triangles or polygons. And it makes it look a lot nicer. And then you can just use that to bake down into like a lower poly mesh. In this case, we can't bake the normal of the high poly mesh into a lower poly mesh because there isn't
But we do
a
have an idea.
default uh like or a global normal map. We'll probably have a overlay uh material or a mesh on top of the existing terrain to add that detail, but the detail is still there within the color mask or color splat I'm at. And here's like a view of the blockout models in a rendered view.
Something else we wanted to try is doing like to kind of fake the depth with a baked ambient occlusion, um, just like overlay material, similar to how. Let me see if I can find it. I have this meme in here somewhere.
I think I know exactly what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna make a box so that you can test it on it.
I have no idea where I put this thing. I know I saved it somewhere.
I'll put a box here, and you'll see why. It's worth it if we find it.
Yeah. If you want to showcase some other parts of the map while I look for this.
Let me check my memes folder. Likely is gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
there.
maybe you have it.
Oh, okay. I have two of them actually.
Oh, you
First
do.
off, this.
Yeah, there you go. So what that's doing is it's just a transparent, um, like black and white image, but it kind of fakes depth the same way a map does, in terms of like when you look at it, not mechanic. Um, so we were thinking maybe we could do the same thing because in splat maps you can't have a global normal map. You kind of have to do something else. So yeah.
Another image I was trying to bring in turns out it was an old Discord link, so the link died.
Oh, it exploded.
But it was like a hole made out of Minecraft blocks, so
This thing's funny. You can stick it on literally anything. You move these pictures.
let's just put it in the sky. How about that? The shitposty nature of Resonite. Perfect. He's behind the camera, stuck behind there, contained
It's funny how many like objects we end up spawning out in these streams. The whole area just like gets covered in things.
and at times we've broken the streams as well too.
Mm-hmm. Um.
Oh yeah,
By the way, if
task
any of y'all
manager
have
open.
questions, remember you can send them into chat with a question mark at the end, and then we can answer them right here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just check over here real quick.
And
Chat
for
kind of got
those,
buried. Oh, whoops.
yeah, for those unable to attend the streams online or live, there is going to be a new forum post in the Discord, and it'll just be like a main forum post that you can post your questions there ahead of time because I'll be uploading the previous one to YouTube pretty soon, as well as this office hours as well too.
Mm-hmm. I think all the VODs go to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
That way people can catch them up there.
Yep. But if you want to see them right away, they're on Twitch. It's just we save them on YouTube to stop Twitch from deleting them. That's how we archive them. There we go. Uh,
We're excited to finish up that map. I think it's going to be fun. And of course, all the assets we're making for it, we're going to put in the essentials for people to run around and use them for whatever they might want. And the map will also be available for editing as well, in case people want to take it and either make it into their home or, you know, change some things about it, set it up for their own events, or kind of use it for whatever you want.
there we go.
I think even after it's released, we might update it a little bit more here and
We're
there because there's some
we definitely should, especially when
yeah
things like new features
physics.
or rendering, new render engine collections, whole bunch of other stuff that we can. Well, we're going to be
Mm-hmm.
updating a lot of things once certain features come out, like new rendering engine. We're going to have to reauthor everything.
Oh yeah,
We may
definitely,
as well,
especially with how our function probes work.
even if like compatibility and preserving content. It's good to update what content we have, at least the newer stuff, so that we can take advantage of any new features or quirks or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And like I just was saying, we're gonna take some of these things that we're doing on Sojourner and use them for the tutorial experience as well, the new one that we're working. Because that one's gonna come with a whole bunch of new environments as well. It's gonna be fun.
especially with the terrain setup, one of the environments is gonna need that. Actually, a couple, couple
Yeah.
environments. The rest likely wouldn't exactly use it, but likely similar, depending on how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, well,
Yep. We're good on. Hmm.
I know for sure. I think we'll have the terrain done by the end of the week. Is after the water effects. I'm gonna be baking the splat maps and then not have to hear my fans run every time I open up Blender.
Graphics card working overtime.
Yes, it is.
Um,
And I also have a box fan pointed straight at my computer, so I can put my feet in front of it as well too to cool myself off.
it is just about 7. Should probably start packing up.
Yes. Um,
Where are the things?
just
I
trying to
had
think
oh,
if
here
there
it
was
is.
any other like specific technique or like assets that we're working on, but essentially
I mean,
it's
we did
just
another DDS for the thing.
oh yeah, another map setup for the plants. But all in all,
I've been trying to see if I can make a dilation in like an infinite dilation setup in Blender, but the way Expander does it is using actual code. We'd probably just need one that does the same thing.
it's pretty much the same way that GIMP and Resonite does it. It's just you need access to tweak the values of it to get it right. But as per usual, to remind folks that we're asking about the Resonance podcast every Sunday, that's when that happens. That's where you'll see Fruks and occasionally Cyro. And on a few other days too. Also on Sundays, there's the moderation office hours. There's the prime time office hours, which is on Tuesdays. Every other, I think it was Monday, there's the purple hour by J4. There's the marketing office hours, which are also on Twitch, which is also on Mondays. Every Wednesday, you'll see the art team office hours, where you'll see me, Just Wolf, and Rushen of the art team. And yeah, and this Friday, as of the stream, we're having a recap stream. What happened last month, the month of May, and what's upcoming, and this month and the upcoming months as well too.
Next
And
also has some like fun, less serious streams that they do on I think it's
on
TikTok.
TikTok,
In case you're on that platform, check out and see what Next is up to. I'm not sure what times they stream though. But yeah, people like that one. It's pretty good.
they stream a lot on there.
Mm-hmm.
You'll likely run into them. And
With that,
as for those
let's give
watching,
thanks.
thank you for tuning in and extending the thanks as well to also our supporters, whether it be Patreon or Stripe or even the stream itself by helping sending bits,
Or
subs,
even just coming by.
and yeah, just watching. Playing the platform helps out too.
Yep.
Helping us on the GitHub, helping us like teaching new users. There's a lot of folks in here.
Which, by the way, if you really like full body, make sure you put in your recommendations for stuff for it. There is a GitHub issue that Fruits is accepting um, things that you want tweaked.
Yes, that is currently the next priority. Is the IK system in general, but also like that also involves full body setup of avatars. So there are people that have like sent them examples of avatars like with different kinds of legs. Like with both Rue and I, we have like what are called digigrade legs, which are like more like with that extra ligament. There's also avatars that have multiple legs or multiple arms, or even avatars that have like different types of bone setups, like say different proportions or different like bone lengths or even number of
Mm-hmm.
bones. They're taking into consideration of all that stuff when designing out an IK system for avatars specifically. But the
And
IK
if you
is
have any avatars with weird rigs, I believe there's a place where you can send them for use in testing.
definitely check out the GitHub for details on there.
Yep.
Yeah.
With that, we shall say bye bye. Hope you'll
You all
have
take
a good
care.
day.
Bye bye.
See y'all next Monday.
Wait, Decoy's streaming?
Are you?
Actually, wait. Actually, we're gonna raid Decoy if they're streaming still. Let's see if we can do that.
Oh, I
I
saw someone named Fur streaming, but I don't think that's.
do you see anyone else streaming? Thank you for reminding me. If there isn't anyone streaming Resonite.
If y'all see anyone you want us to rate, just let us know, and it's in chat. If not, then we will close.
Let me type in Resonite here to see if anybody's here. Someone is streaming Blood on the Clock Tower.
Oh yeah, do that one. Enjoy a game in Resonite.
Go to Creator Dashboard. There we go. Manager, Raid Channel.
It was great seeing all of y'all. Well, hearing.
Okay, that's us.
We're gonna rate ourselves.
Search by category. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Ah, it's not showing it though. Did they stop
Maybe
streaming?
they might have just stopped streaming.
Ah.
Oh well.
Well, worth a shot. You all take care.
Bye bye.
Whoa.